controlled, monitored by India. So today we'll see only about the introduction part, that is introduction to RBI. So RBI was established in April 1935 under Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. So once the Indian banks have started to nationalize, or they made the first important step, it was taken was RBI, or Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, which means before independence itself, RBI has came into existence. Its headquarter is there in Mumbai. The Reserve Bank of India is the central banking institution of India. So whatever banking transactions are happening in India, those all banking transactions are being controlled, monitored, and those are being monitored deeply by RBI itself. So the present governor of RBI is Shashikant Das is the present governor, right? He is monitoring and he is controlling all the affairs of RBI. Then there is a brief history of RBI. The RBI was set up on the recommendation of Hilton Young Commission. There were so many committees, commissions have happened in India, but the RBI was recommended by Hilton Young Commission in India to start up an RBI bank. Then it was started with the shareholders bank with a paid up capital of 5 crores. The total investment in RBI at the starting period was 5 crore rupees. Initially, it was located in Kolkata. So when it started, the initial location of RBI was Kolkata. Then later on, it moved to Mumbai in 1937. In the year 1937, they thought that they are going to move the bank from Kolkata to Mumbai, and they did it. Then since 1949, RBI is fully owned by the government of India. So before 1949, RBI was partly controlled by the government and partly it was controlled by the private people. Means the joint ownership was there. But after 1949, the RBI was totally controlled by the government of India. The first governor was Sir Osborne A. Smith. So he was the governor before independence, right? Before independence, the Britishers were ruling India, and their own Britishers, their ministers, right? Their persons were they become the governor, first governor of RBI. Then the first Indian governor was Chintamana D. Deshmukh. So he was the first Indian governor. After India got independence in 1947, they made the first governor for Chintaman Deshmukh as the first governor. So this is about the history, how it started, and by which commission it started. Now currently, what is the situation that we will see about RBI. So there are some of the functions, right? Some important functions which RBI does. So what are those functions? So this is the current network, right, where RBI has spread. Currently, RBI has so many sub branches all over India, right? They print some small denomination currencies, large denomination currencies. So all over India, they are having their branches. So if you see about functions of RBI, many of you know this. You have studied this in your degree. Degree also might be you have studied in economics also. So RBI has two important functions. First is monetary functions and second is non-monetary functions. Monetary functions are those which are directly related to money matters. Non-monetary functions are those are not directly related to your money matters, right? So we'll see one by one what are the important functions of RBI. As I've told you, monetary functions. The main monetary authority of the country is RBI. Whatever monetary affairs are happening in the country, those will happen with the monitoring authority of RBI only. It will take all the steps to monitor. No other bank has a right, neither government has a right, neither any state government, local authority, they don't have any right. So RBI has a full authority over monetary affairs of a country, right? It formulates, it implements, and it monitors the monetary policy as well as it has to ensure an adequate flow of credit to productive sectors. So it has to monitor, it has to implement, it has to formulate the monetary policies so that it can protect and so that it can have a proper flow of credit in the productive sector, right? As we can see in the picture below, where one person is riding a horse, right, and is controlling the horse, right? How a horse is controlled, right? If you see that horse, if you see predict a horse, or if you think a horse as an economy, right, economy, where that a thread, right, with which he is pulling, right, the rope, what we call, which with which he is pulling, he is controlling that horse, right? Similarly to that of RBI, and that person who is doing it is the government, right? And the others who is just looking at it, it may be the general public, right? General public. So which means if you want to control the nation monetary affairs, you require an important monetary authority, that is RBI. So this is the first important monetary functions. So in the monetary functions, the first, as you already know this, but you have to know that the currency or the issue of currency is done only by RBI. It designs, it does a printing, distribution of the currency all over India. So we can see various designs under this. Every government will come, they'll make some new designs. Maybe in the colors also, maybe in the fonts also, maybe in the size also, right? So earlier notes were having some other designs. Now you may be finding some other designs. So RBI ultimately design the currencies, and it does the printout of the currencies, right? The printing of the currencies is done by the RBI. Then finally the distribution of currencies, because the currencies are made at particular place. Now who has to distribute it? There is no any private person. The government itself will distribute, the RBI will distribute the currencies to the respective commercial banks. Then from those commercial bank, it will reach to the public in the nation. So this is the issue of currency. Then similarly, the bank issues and exchange or destroys the currencies and coins which are not fit for circulation. There are some notes which are not fit for circulation. Some notes are there which are time barred. Time barred means which you can't circulate in the country. Like 500 rupees note, which was old note. Somebody might be having it. So those notes you can't use it in the nation, right? You can't use it with the public because those are time barred. So if you give it to RBI, they will, what they will do, they will tear it. Now there will be some notes which have been applied with full color, right? Red color, black color, some color has been applied on it. So even such notes are also not fit for circulation. So what RBI does is it will collect all such type of notes, and the number of those notes will be noted down, right? Means the same number new currency will come, and the old currency will be destroyed by the RBI. The goal of ensuring an adequate supply of clean and genuine notes. The goal of RBI is that it has to supply clean and genuine notes, means the real notes to the public, which are authentic one, which are real one, and which are clean one, should be supplied by the RBI. So this is the first function under monetary function of the RBI, that is issue of currencies. Then the second function is banker to the government. Like everybody of you have a banker, right? Everybody of us, we require a banker. Maybe for getting a salary, an employee need a banker. Maybe to take a loan for a businessman, he need a banker. Maybe to get the facilities from the government in form of scholarship or in form of some facilities, for each and everything you require a bank or a banker. So similarly for a government also requires a banker, because government has various things, like government has an expenditures, right? Government even has some revenues. So where you are going to keep those expenditures, from where you are going to pay those expenditures, and from where for where you are going to keep those incomes of the government. So those all things are kept with RBI. So it performs a merchant banking function in government. It performs various banking services to government itself, not for the individual, right? For the government expenditures and for the government revenue, whatever services are required for the government, those all services are rendered by the RBI. So we call it as banker to the government. Similarly, the third function is banker to the bank. Every bank, commercial bank, even they need a banker, right? For example, you can see why we need is because for the transfer funds and settlement interbank transactions, all banks operation in the country have accounts with the RBI. Like every bank has to be controlled. You can't let each bank by individual by their own, no. So to control monetary authority fully in the country, what RBI does is that it will control each and every banking institution in India, whether those are private banks or government banks. Each and every bank in India is controlled by RBI. So we call it as banker to a bank. Every bank is directly or indirectly controlled by RBI. Similarly, manager of a foreign exchange. So the foreign exchange, what are happening, right? So it is controlled by RBI. Why? Because RBI they buy and sell the foreign currencies, and why they do is to maintain the exchange rate of Indian rupees with that of the foreign currencies. Maybe dollar is there, maybe pound is there, right? So they want to maintain Indian currencies. There are two types of currencies in international market. First currency we call it as home currency, and second is foreign currencies. See, when your home currency value in the international market increases, right? Home currency means Indian rupees value in the international market increases, we can find that there will be more exports of finished goods. There will be more export of import of raw materials. That means your GDP, national income, each and everything will start increasing. Why? Because your home currency value in the international market has increased. But if it is reverse, if your home currency value in the international market has decreased, in that case, you can find that there will be more export of raw materials, there will be more import of technological things. So in that case, it is very difficult for a nation. To control this all situation, what RBI does is that it will manage forex market, right? It will manage foreign exchange or foreign exchange market also. Next is controller of credit. RBI, it controls entire credit in the nation, right? It has various weapons, right? With those weapons, it will control the demand and supply of money in the economy. See, demand and supply are interrelated. When the demand increases, right, the price will also start increasing. Supply might be decreased at some time. So there, those all things are interrelated. To control these all things, it has a major weapon like CRR is there, SLR is there, or various other liquid ratios are there. With those all liquid ratios, RBI will try to control a credit in the nation. See, a simple example you can take. What RBI does, suppose if there is excess supply of money in the nation. Excess supply of money in the nation means everybody is having money. When money is there with everybody, then the value of money will decrease. When value of money is decreasing, the purchasing power has been increased and the value of money has decreased. To control such situation, what RBI does is that it will decrease the supply of money. It will decrease the supply of money. Once the supply of money is get decreased, now then the value of money will start increasing. Such all type of weapons are there with the RBI. They can control this, and they are also called as quantitative and qualitative measures. Right? They are also called as quantitative and qualitative measures of RBI to control the credit in the nation. Then there are certain non-monetary functions which RBI will do. These are those functions which it does. These are traditional functions from olden days or from before independence, we can say. These functions have been continued, and today also these functions are continued by RBI. It performs the traditional functions. The Reserve Bank of India also performs the following functions. Which are those? These are collection and publication of data, right? So what RBI does, it collects the data of various banks, various financial institution, And here the Department of Statistics for collecting, complying, dissemination of statistical information and conducting research related to bank and other financial sectors. And it will be finally given to the public, to the government, to the stakeholders. Why it is done? To know the solvency position, to know the credit viability, or to see the financial possibility of any bank. The collection and publication of data is done. Statistics is playing a very important role nowadays. Statistics is playing very important role. Right? Currently, we can see that government has given some data about GDP. Right? What is the current GDP rate? What government is showing? It is somewhere around 23%, minus 23%. Right? I think all of you have seen in the newspaper or news channel, etc. So on just by giving some data, they don't give it. There is some statistics involved behind calculation of that minus 23% of GDP. Right? There are so many statisticians, so many departments are involved. They calculate on the basis of production, on the basis of sale, on the basis of services what our country is giving, and they are going to compare with the population what we are having in a nation. Finally, we are going to get the gross domestic product. Similarly, the RBI has to give, RBI will tell some statistical department to give a data regarding the banks of India. Those statisticians or Department of Statisticians will give a data regarding the deposits which banks have collected, regarding the loans, regarding the performing assets, and regarding various other factors. Then finally, after that, those things will be collected by the RBI first of all. Then it will be compiling will be done. Means they will simplify it. Data what has been given, how they are going to simplify. Maybe they are going to prepare charts, bar chart, pie chart, or maybe in other forms also they can do it. So they will simplify it. Data might be difficult to understand, but once you prepare a chart or a diagram or a tabular format or a percentages, if you tell minus 10%, minus 20%, it is easy. So complying will be done by RBI. Then finally, dissemination the statistical information, which means it will be circulated to entire nation. If government wants, RBI will provide the information to the government. If any other banks also they need this statistical information, for them also the information is provided. So this is called as important function nowadays, because everything is related with data itself. Then regulatory and supervisory. RBI will also act as a regulatory and supervisory. The RBI Act and Banking Act have both the conferred extensive powers of regulations and supervision to the RBI over commercial and cooperative banks to check malpractices and protect the interest of the investors. We can find that there are so many frauds will happen, are happening, right? Why? Because once the RBI is unable to control, or if they are unable to supervise or regulate their powers, we find that the cooperative banks or some banks will do some fraud. So the important function is that if RBI does proper regulatory power, or if it is using proper supervisory power over other banks, and we can find that there will be no malpractices, right? There will be no malpractices, there will be no fraud, there will be no misrepresentation. Ultimately, the interest of the investor will get protected. The final customer of the bank, of the commercial bank, of the cooperative bank, right, or of the other nationalized bank, his interest will get protected. He will be safe. Or else tomorrow, some investor has kept some lakhs of rupees in some bank. Suddenly that bank has shown next day itself NPA at some 50%. So what that investor is going to do? He is going to lose that so much of money what he has kept, maybe some lakhs of rupees. Why? Because some proper supervision and monitoring has not been done by the monetary authority. So this is the important function to protect the interest of the investors. Then development and promotion. RBI has been aiding development and promoting the savings bank habit, development of the institutional, agriculture and other rural activities has been an area of focus right from its inception. So it main other function apart from monetary function is that RBI wants development and promotion in the various sectors of the economy. It wants development by increasing the banking habits among the people. How the development will start? It says that the development will start by saving, right? The development will start by saving. Suppose one person, he has some money, and if he starts saving money, if after saving he will start do investments, and from that investment you may find that there will be development and promotion in some sectors, whether it is industrial sector or agricultural sector, or there will be development in some service sectors also. So